Hey everybody, welcome to Garden for Cheap. If you're new here, my name's Rachel, and I have started making this video almost all day. I really wanted to do a garden update. I've built new beds and on the way of making another one, but I don't know. There's been a lot of things in my mind here lately, and not just because of what's going on, but other things. There's a lot of crazy going on in the world. We've all had to deal with it on some level or another. And I just wanted to say a little bit about it, I guess. I've been kind of not trying to touch on the subject, but I think everybody's affected in one way or another. I have a pre-existing condition. I was born with a heart condition. I have COPD. I was born with a kidney problem. Of course, it really hasn't affected me much since I was a kid, but it's still there. So, yeah, it scares me a little. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But I'm not in a state of panic. Sometimes you have to find that place that calms you. And my garden is it. Sometimes I can't find the words. They don't come to me. I'm not a great storyteller sometimes. Now, writing it on paper, I do better, but it's still not as elegant as some. So bear with me. I'm sure I'm going to trip over my words, but hopefully you'll get the message anyway. I think it's something that needs to be heard. Maybe it'll just help to get you to know me better. I guess, maybe. Who knows? But here we go. Everything starts with a seed. Life, fear, panic, hope, everything. Whether it's a flower, an herb, or a vegetable. Whether it's that little seed of hope that you have that everything's going to be okay and that you'll have an abundance, whether it's in your garden or in your bank account or in just the joy of your family. Fear is the same way. I've once heard that you and your life is like a garden, and what you plant there is what will grow. What you feed it reflects as it grows. If you take fear and you feed it, it will consume you into panic. But if you take that same seed and change it to faith and hope and love, you'll grow something better. I tell people all the time that garden's my therapy, and I mean it. I have insomnia, depression, anxiety, panic attack disorder. I had a rough childhood, but I don't dwell on it, because that's not what I want growing in my garden. I use the garden as a metaphor a lot, because it was my purpose, I guess. I didn't know it until it happened, and I didn't just stumble across it. I mean, I knew things were were going in a direction in my life that I didn't want them to go. I knew I wanted to be off-grid. I knew I wanted to be self-sustainable. Well, you know, getting a piece of property and throwing a house on it with solar and wind and water catchment, that's a start, but you still have to eat. So I started researching, you know, how to grow food, how to raise animals. Just from Roots and Refuge, I've said it before, you know, just because you're not on your homestead or on your farm or whatever your dream is, don't let that stop you from learning. This is your classroom. Learn where you're at. I was already doing that. I just didn't know that's what it was. I just knew I wanted to learn. So the house that I live in, I asked my roommate if I could have a garden. He said yeah. And I started small. It was over there in the ground. I think it was 10 by 14 or something. It wasn't very big. It might have been even smaller than that. But it was that first garden that changed my life dramatically, actually, if you think about it. It's kind of funny, and I've said this before. It's kind of funny how one little decision can alter your life so much, whether it be good or bad. So, you know, I got me some tomato seeds, and I got me some banana peppers and lettuce and onions and garlic, and didn't really know what I was doing. Not really. I mean, I had researched quite a bit. I knew it was late to grow the garlic, maybe even the onions, to be a matter of fact. But I threw everything in the ground anyway. And my tomatoes, I did dig up and throw in some, you know, little amendments here and there that I had done research on, you know, like Epsom salt and used coffee grounds and things of that nature. Bone meal, blood meal. But each year, I learned a little more and added a little more and was a little more attentive. That first year changed everything for me. I realized how much it did. I started to sleep at night, you know. I wasn't as anxious. At least not with the things that were going around me in the world. When I was in my garden, I might have been anxious for, you know, a plant to sprout or a fruit to bear. But those are good kind of anxious, you know. If that makes any sense. Like I said, I'm not a storyteller. But this one's mine. And only I can tell it, so bear with me. After that first year, and gardening brought me so much joy, that's when I decided to do a YouTube. When I first started my YouTube channel, it really didn't have so much to do with gardening as it did with mental health. I wanted people to be aware of this great thing that did so much for me that I didn't have to get at a drugstore from a prescription from a doctor. And I don't think in the last 2 years I've portrayed that in that way. If I have, not good enough. I mean, I'm not saying that my garden videos didn't have purpose. They do. And I hope they've helped people. They've helped me because I go back and look at what I planted where. When did I plant it? It helps keep you organized. But I don't think a lot of y'all realize how much it's done for me. Get out of that bag, dog. And it wasn't just all gardening. There was things here and there. Getting my dog helped. I'm not saying if you go out and buy tomato seeds that all your childhood trauma will disappear. No, it's not what I'm saying. But there is something about getting your hands dirty. Getting back to nature. Getting one with your maker. Because whether you're a Christian or whatever faith you believe in, even if you just believe there's a great spirit, you know, when you get your hands dirty, when you get back to nature and you watch a seed that you take out of one of these packs and you put it in the ground and you water it and you nurture it and it grows, it gives you a sense of pride and accomplishment. Not to mention, you know, the fruit that it bears. Or if it's an herb, you know, you make your own seasonings. Or if you do medical herbs, you can make your own tincture or whatever, you know. There's a lot to be said going back to gardening, your roots. You just have to remember what it is you're wanting to plant. Are you wanting fear and panic? Is that what you want in your garden? Or are you wanting hope, faith, joy, love? So much more abundance in that than there is the other. I hope you got something from this. It was something that's been there the whole time. I just didn't know how to word it. Actually, a great woman told me just to hit play on the camera, and when it hit me, it would hit me. Guess what? I guess it hit me. But that's my little advice for y'all out there today. Always be prepared, but plant something better in your garden. Faith, love, joy, happiness. Silly dog. Anyway, I hope this finds you well. I hope you're having a blessed day. Be safe out there, take care, and know that somebody here loves you. Later.